I'll ask for a motion to approve the agenda for tonight.
Make the motion to approve tonight's agenda.
I second.
Commissioner Doshan,
Aye.
Heiser,
Aye.
Brandt,
Aye.
and Sanchez.
Aye. I'll also ask for a motion to approve the agenda from the May 14th, 2024. I'm sorry, to approve the minutes for May 14th, 2024 meeting.
I motion to approve the minutes for May 14th, 2024 meeting. I'll second.
Commissioner Doshan,
Aye.
Heiser,
Aye.
Brandt,
Aye.
and Sanchez.
Aye. At this time, we'll open the public comment portion of the meeting tonight. This portion of the meeting is reserved for persons wanting to address the commission only on matters not listed on this agenda. Speakers are limited to 5 minutes unless additional time is needed for translation. Please state your name and address for the record before making your presentation. Anyone in the audience wishing to speak tonight? Anyone online? Seeing no one in the audience wishing to speak or online, we'll close the public comment for the planning commission meeting and move on to the public hearing section of the meeting. Should anyone challenge any proposed action which is the subject of a public hearing listed on this agenda, that person challenging any action taken after the public hearing may be limited to raising only those issues addressed at the public hearing described in this notice or in written correspondence delivered to the planning commission at or prior to this public hearing. We'll move and ask staff to present on public hearing item number 1, temporary land use permit number 23-136, extension of time request.
Sure. Honorable Chairman and Commission, this is a temporary land use permit 23-136. It's an extension of time for an existing temporary land use permit. So, there it is. Okay, so the temporary land use permit is for a potato and corn stand that is located within the Apple Market parking lot that was approved last year. This is the first request of a possible 5 additional requests for extension of time for this stand located at Apple Market. It essentially consists of a mobile cooker to cook baked potatoes and corn. The hours of operation, as was disclosed in the conditional use permit, is 1 p.m. to 9 p.m. Wednesdays through Sundays. Currently, the operator has a Kern County food preparation permit and is currently licensed with the state or with the city of Shafter, rather. There is also on record a letter stating that the proprietor has the property owner's permission to be there. They have been in good standing, not only for last year, but for the previous temporary land use permit time frame of 5 years, so 6 years with no issues or complaints. What they're requesting is a 1-year extension to July 11th, 2025. And if you were to approve this first extension, there would be 3 more available 1-year extensions for this use. This is the location of the actual stand itself. This is what the stand looks like. And the recommendation of staff is to conduct public hearing and adopt resolution 24-442, approving a 1-year extension of time for temporary land use permit 23-36 with conditions of approval that have already been approved for the project. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions you guys may have.
This time we'll open the public hearing for item number 1. Close the public hearing on item number one and turn it over to commissioners for questions to staff.
No questions. Nope.
Seeing no questions, I'll entertain a motion on item number one.
Make a motion, we adopt resolution number 24442, approving a 1-year extension of time for the land use permit 23-136.
I second.
Commissioner Joshua,
Aye.
Heiser,
Aye.
Franz,
Aye.
and Sanchez.
We'll move on to item number two in the public hearing regarding general plan conformity determination at 100 Carver Street.
Yes, this is a general plan conformity determination. It's something that's required by state law every time the city plans on selling a piece of real property. We have to make, as a city, a determination that the sale would conform with the general plan. For this particular location, it's at 100 Carver Street, which is just south of Minter Field, just on the south side of Lerdo Highway. And we'll go ahead. So Government Code 65402 requires a finding that a sale of property by a city conforms to the general plan, and that's the whole purpose of this item. The property in question is at 100 Carver Street, and it is an existing ready-mix concrete products company. It has been there under a lease with the city for a number of years, so it is an existing use, and the use would not change as a result of this conformity determination, or as a result of the sale, more specifically as a result of the sale of the property. If the sale was to go through, it would remain a ready-mix concrete products company. The use would not change because of the sale, and the use is permitted by previous conditional use permit 18-98, which is still in effect. The use is in conformance with the general plan and would remain the same after the sale, so there would be no change in general plan land use designation as a result of the sale. And therefore, the sale is in conformance with the general plan. From a CEQA perspective, or California Environmental Quality Act perspective, the action is not considered a project because it is simply organizational activity that does not result in changes to the environments, and therefore it's not determined to be a project under CEQA. And with that, staff's recommendation is to conduct hearing and adopt resolution 24-443, which is a resolution finding the sale of real property at 100 Carver Street conforms to the Shafter General Plan in accordance with Government Code 65402 rather. And with that, I'm happy to entertain any questions you may have.
This time we'll open the public hearing regarding item number two and ask if anyone in the audience has any statements or questions. Anyone online? Seeing no one in the audience or online wishing to speak, we'll close the public hearing. I'll ask staff or commissioners if there's any questions for staff regarding item number two.
Steve, one question. When you say conforms to general plan, you're in the process of doing a new, so is it going to conform to the general plan that you're creating at the moment?
Well, it conforms to the existing general plan. The
Existing,
new general plan, if there's an existing use, we're not going to change the general plan designation from what it is currently.
okay.
So you're talking about the general plan update that we're working on now.
that you're working on now.
Yeah, this would remain industrial,
Okay.
industrial general plan designation for this site, because it is an existing use as a concrete plant, and therefore an industrial designation would be necessary to maintain conformance with the general plan for the existing use. If there's something let's say there's a residential tract,
Mhm.
we're not going to change with this general plan update the tract from residential to, let's say, commercial.
Gotcha.
Its existing uses will remain, the designation that they are under the current general plan regime.
Understood.
Any other questions? I'll entertain a motion regarding item number two of the public hearing.
I motion we adopt resolution number 24-443 at 100 Carver Street, conforms to Shafter General Plan in accordance with 65402.
I'll second.
Commissioner Joshua,
Aye.
Heiser,
Aye.
Frantz,
Aye.
and Sanchez.
Aye. We'll move to the last item, item number 3 of the public hearing, zone code amendment number 24-18. I'll ask staff to present.
Yes, this last item is a zone code amendment number 24-18, which is to change the maximum building height in a portion of the agricultural zone district in the city of Shafter. Here's the description. A wonderful company, actually it's a Wonderful Nut Orchards LLC, is requesting to amend the zoning ordinance to allow buildings that are currently allowed in that zone at 45 feet to be allowed to a height of 150 feet by right in a 541 acre portion of the agricultural zone district. And we'll get to a map of that in a second. In order to increase the height, some changes to the zoning ordinance or chapter 7 of the zoning ordinance would have to occur, namely a new figure 7A would have to be added, identifying the maximum building height requirement area for the 150-foot increase. And also table 7B, existing table 7B would have to be amended to provide a note 2 that the maximum building height requirement for a portion of the ag zone in figure 7A is now 150 feet rather than 45 feet. The reason for this request is that Wonderful would like to allow for future buildings that would have increased automation and robotics within the buildings, kind of similar to the industrial park. There are very tall buildings in there because they have essentially automation that allows the picking of materials with robotics. Doesn't require humans to do it, and therefore for space-saving reasons and for just overall use of the site for the robotics, it's better to go vertically, since you can, if you're already building the robotics to grab and pick and sort, going higher just makes more sense, making the racks taller. And so advanced machinery operates more efficiently in taller structures. It would concentrate cold storage and other similar buildings to take advantage of the efficiencies that automation and robotics can afford in taller buildings. Taller buildings can also better manage internal climates, and it would incorporate energy-saving technologies by going higher. This is where the applicant is proposing to have the area where the maximum height for buildings in the ag zone would go to 150 feet. This is located off of South Cherry Avenue in the southern portion of the city of Shafter. There are certain findings that have to be made for zone code amendments. The findings that we have come up with and for staff was that it is consistent with the general plan. It would not adversely affect public health, safety, and welfare or result in illogical land use patterns. It is consistent with the purpose and intent of the remainder of the zone ordinance not under consideration, and the potential environmental impacts of the zone code amendment are insignificant. And with that, staff is recommending that you conduct a hearing and adopt Resolution 24-444, a resolution recommending to the City Council that they approve Zone Code Amendment 24-18, an amendment to the zoning ordinance allowing buildings from 45 feet to 150 feet by right in a portion of the A Zone District. And with that, I'm here to answer any questions you may have.
Barry Braun. Oh, right over here.
Be a little better.
Barry Braun, Chairman of the Board of Trustees for Kern County Cemetery District, which is right catty corner from the northeast edge of the project. Our concern would be with the possibility of 15-story buildings, the amount of people who would be required to be employed there would increase the traffic at the intersection of Burbank and Santa Fe Way. If it's already a dangerous intersection. Just a few weeks ago, Scott Hurlbert was involved in an accident at that intersection. And if there's going to be an increase in the number of employees in that area, we're concerned that when a party from going from a funeral to the cemetery is going to make that a very congested corner. If there's an increase in truck traffic, employee traffic, we want to state our concern, maybe to look at making a left turn lane, maybe even installing traffic signals. Anyway, thank you.
Sir, where's the, can we put the map up back on there? Can you show me on the map?
Sure.
Oop.
You want me to show them?
Go ahead.
This is the proposed area. Right up there is where Shapley Cemetery
cemetery's right
is. That's the road that runs to Bakersfield. And there's always a lot of accidents in that particular intersection.
Okay, now I got a mental picture. Thank you.
All right.
You're welcome.
Anyone else in the audience wishing to speak tonight? Anyone online? Then I'll ask commissioners if they have any questions for staff regarding item number 3.
Director, would you help us maybe address some of that concern there about if this is approved and then further down the road, a building is approved to go in there that supports additional employees, et cetera, that'll go before the city in a traffic pattern? Can you walk us through that?
Yeah, we were already in discussions with Wonderful Company or Wonderful Nut Orchards, I apologize, about traffic or about improvements to Cherry Avenue as well as Burbank to accommodate cold storage or other tall building related projects. Wonderful is already in the works with developing sort of a master planned area for this, not only these 2 parcels, but for all of their additional parcels to the south, which is a few thousand acres, including road improvements to Cherry and to Burbank, because they've acknowledged that if this was to occur, the roads as they are currently in that area are not sufficient to accommodate the project. And so as part of a larger master planning, they're going to do improvements to those roads to increase the size of them to accommodate more traffic, as well as we can bring back the concern about Burbank and Santa Fe Way to them, and the need for some sort of maybe perhaps signalization or traffic calming or some other method of getting cars more safely through that intersection.
So we would at that time be able to have this applicant before anything was built, we can make that condition of having approval to put the buildings up.
At this point, it would be over the counter. It wouldn't come back to your commission or to the city council. It would stay at staff level, and staff would then work with Wonderful in developing roadways that would accommodate the project.
There was one additional thing that it skipped my mind until just now. There is a siding, a railroad siding that crosses Santa Fe Way about a half a mile south of the cemetery. And if they're going to be doing, if Wonderful is planning on adding rail sidings in addition to the one that leads over to the gas plant. if they're gonna be putting in sidings where they'll be loading and unloading containers or emptying rail cars. There's also the possibility that it would be cause congestion in that area at the railroad crossing. I just wanted to mention that. Thanks.
Thank you.
So Steve, with the building of this, when these happen, or if or when they do happen, they're gonna go through the building department, like you, and same as in a building, you have your occupancy. So the same thing, you know, you have your occupancy, you have to do a certain amount of things to make sure your occupancy is correct, right? So same thing with road work. They're gonna, you know, make sure that it's safe environment for the cemetery area.
Yeah, they would have to go through building, engineering, public works. There would
The whole
be
works, yeah.
planning department. There would be, during the site plan review process, they would have to get approvals from all of those different departments to make sure that,
Correct.
the project is accommodated by roads and ingress, egress. And in fact, the rail siding that he's talking about, there's an existing rail spur that then ends up crossing over Santa Fe. One of the reasons that Wonderful has chosen these two parcels is because of that existing railroad spur. It would be one of the ways that they could get the products beyond just roads, getting the products out by rail as well. And so there would be improvements necessary for health and safety reasons to make that intersection safe, and that would be a direct result of developing the project. They would have to work with the city to improve the roads so that they are safe.
I'm in understanding. I just want the public to understand that that's the way it's gonna go.
Any other questions for staff?
Director, do you know, I can't recall what the height that has been approved out at the logistics park. Does it match this 150 feet request?
It's actually 100 feet
It's
at the
100.
industrial park. This is 150. It's a 50 feet. It goes from 45 by right. Right now, currently, you're allowed to have structures up to 45 feet tall currently by the current zoning ordinance. This is a request to change that from 45 feet to 150 feet in just on these two parcels. So it wouldn't be the whole of the agricultural zone district, which is, I mean, we have a lot of agriculture in our city limits. It would be limited to these two parcels.
And other than the obvious reasons that they stated for future robotics, that sort of thing, why? Because they made the same request to do the 100 feet out at logistics park. Why the extra 50?
I think it's who they're talking to. And again, you guys have the right to recommend something different. You could certainly recommend, hey, why don't you stick with the 100-foot height that is already established on the other side of Santa Fe in the industrial park. This was a request from, I believe, a potential future tenant, or I don't know if they're going to lease or purchase the land or a portion of this land, but their request was to go to 150 feet from Wonderful, and then Wonderful as the applicant made the request to the city.
So with us, if we approved 150 feet, is that kind of opening the door to the industrial park for future approvals out there for higher height?
They want those kinds of heights but it would have to go through a very similar process.
still
Yeah, it
come
would have to
here.
go through a zone code amendment, the next, 24-19, theoretically. to allow, and it would have to go through both the planning commission for recommendation. It would have to go through two reads of the ordinance. If you were to recommend approval to the council, it would have to go through two reads at the city council.
It's 14 stories.
Yeah, 150 feet is approximately 14
14
stories.
Yeah, that's my only question is why not just make them unified?
Yeah.
Probably depends on what company they're talking to.
Well, yeah.
Equipment.
Well, they wouldn't be able to advertise that, I understand. I don't know, is that a sticking point for any of you guys?
Any other questions for staff? If there's no further questions, I'll entertain a motion regarding item number 3. Oh, I'm sorry, I'll close the public hearing at this time and entertain a motion regarding item number 3.
By motion, we adopt resolution number 24-444, recommending the city council approve number 24-18, zoning ordinance allowing buildings from 45 feet to 150 feet by right in a portion of the A zone district.
I'll second.
Commissioner Doshan,
Aye.
Heiser, Franz,
Aye.
and Sanchez.
Aye. Any reports from the commissioners tonight? There's no reports, so I entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Make a motion, we adjourn the meeting.
I second.
Meeting adjourned.